Before studying a very complicated and utterly important topic, OOP, Object-Oriented Programming, we're going to address several topics at once. Each of these topics is too small and simple for a special lesson, so we will study them in a bunch today. We will also practice these topics cumulatively. First of all, I would like to tell you about something that will enhance your knowledge on arrays a little bit. Let's go directly to the code. Create a new project. Call it space, like those between the words. Create a new class. Call it space 2. Add the program entry point. Now let's get started. Up to now, we have initialized arrays this way. Array type, array name, assign symbol, new type, and within the square brackets, the array size. Then we assigned values addressing the array by its index. Nums of 0 assign 10. But the elements of an array can be assigned values immediately upon its creation. Here is how it's done. Type int nums assign symbol and opening curly brackets. Now instead of writing the word new, put down the values 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. Don't forget to put a semicolon at the end. Our array from the first example contained the number of days in each month. Let's now recreate it by another method and print its values out. Type int, call the array day of month. Type the assign symbol. Assign the values of 31, 28, 31, and so on. Let's now print out the values of this array on the console using for each loop. So everything works the same way. I hope this all is clear. It's not rocket science at all. Just a faster way to initialize an array. The second thing is the string data type. You might have noticed that we have not yet discussed such data type as a string. This is due to the fact that the string data type is not regarded a primitive one in Java. It's related to reference types, and we will study it in detail when we get to the object-oriented programming. But we will learn how to create strings and how to use them right now. In order to create a new string, such syntax is used. String, the name of the string, assign symbol, and within the quotes, a value to be assigned. Let's assign hello world. Once we've done it, we can apply the string wherever needed. For example, it can be printed out using systemout.println. No quotes are needed. Simply type the name of the variable, run the program, and you will get the line hello world. Also, you can use the plus symbol to concatenate strings together or with variables. This is exactly what we have been doing using method systemout.println. Let's create a user and print out information about him. Create a string variable, call it name. It will store the username. Assign it some name. Create an int variable which will store the age. Also create a string variable which will store all the information about this user in a convenient format. Type string, its name, result, assign symbol. Now let's print out the line hi. Here it is. Ivan, you are 33 years old. Type hi, comma, space, then add variable name and an exclamation mark. Now type you, add the age, period. Let's print out variable result on the console, sout result. Run the code and you can see our line printed out. Hi Ivan, You are 33 years old. And what if we want to display the string with the age on a new line? We have only one variable which stores the whole text. It would not be wise to create another variable and print it out by one more request system out println. This is another small topic which I would like to cover. Java has certain special characters which are used in string variables. In this case, we want to print out a part of the string on a new line. To do that, we can use the carriage return symbol. It's spelled so, \n. Now when the string is being printed out, the program will read the symbol and will start with the new line, so all the rest of the text will be written on a new line. Let's run the program. You can see, "Hi Ivan, you are 33 years old." Now if for some reason we want the name Ivan to be within quotation marks, we cannot simply use them here. If we add another quotation mark, the program will not understand what it's supposed to do because it starts separating strings incorrectly. In order to use a quotation mark in the string, there is another special character which escapes this character. The quotation mark we want to be in the output must be preceded by a \. Here we have typed an opening quotation mark. For a closing one, type a \, and the quotation mark. Now let's run the program. You can see that Ivan is displayed in quotes. Java has a lot of special characters. You can read more about them on the internet. For solving our tasks, these two special characters are enough. So we have discussed 3 small topics. Let's try them in practice. The task is following. Create an array with the names of the months and initialize it immediately. Don't forget that all the values of string variables are written in quotes. Next thing to do is to print out the names of all the months in one line, with each word in quotes, and separate it from the others by a comma, and the last month must be followed by a period. You already know what is needed to complete this task. I will allow you some time to pause the playback and solve it on your own. Good luck! Well, I hope you've completed the task. Here's the solution. Create a string array. Type string, square brackets. Call the array names of months. Now type a sign symbol and initialize the array immediately. Open curly brackets. Type January within quotes, comma, February, and so forth. To have an easier to read array, you can format it. Usually it's done this way. It has no effort on the program itself, but it makes it more human readable. So here is the array. Let's create a string and call it result. It will be used to store the result. Type string result and assign it an initial null value, a blank line, no spaces, just quotation marks. Now create a for loop. Do not forget about a period after the last word. It means we must know which word is going to be the last one, so we'll need a counter. We will use an ordinary for loop. For int I equals 0, I is less than names of month dot length I++. First of all, a new month must be added to our variable result. We can use the shorter construction, result plus equals names of month of I. If we leave everything as it is, the variable result will store the names of all the months, separated neither by commas, nor spaces, nor periods, simply the names one after another. Now let's check whether the element we have is the last one. Specify a condition. If I equals names of month dot length minus 1. As you remember, the index of the last element equals the array length minus 1. Add a period character to the variable result. Otherwise, if this is not the last element, we will add a comma and a space to variable result. Type the semicolon. Now let's print out the value of variable result on the console. Run the program, and you can see that everything works. All the names of the months are printed out. Each one is separated by a comma and a space, and after the last one there is a period. Well done! We have studied these topics, but there is one more small topic. For the better understanding of it, let's complete a task. We've got a variable which stores the number of a month. Depending on which number it is, we will print out the name of the corresponding month. If the number we type refers to a non-existent month, this line must be printed, "This month does not exist." You must not use arrays. You can only use conditional operators. Good luck! So, here is the solution. Type int number of month, assign it 1 initially, and specify a condition. If number of month equals 1, print out January. Else, if the number of the month equals 2, print out February. Else, if the number of the month equals 3, and thus you will print out the names of all the months. But if none of the indices corresponds to a month, print out "This month does not exist." Now let's run the program. You can see January is displayed. Let's print out month 13. This month does not exist, so everything works fine. But it's obvious that the construction is too bulky and not very convenient to read. Just for such cases, there is one more constructional operator. It's called switch case. The syntax is as follows: switch, then in the round brackets, the variable to be compared is written. In our case, it is number of month. Then the curly brackets are opened. The keyword case and the value which must be present for an action to be performed are written within them. Let's say the value is 1. Type 1, a colon, and the action to be performed. We must print out the word January. After it, type the keyword break. If some other condition is to be checked, type case 2, colon. If the value of the variable equals 2, print out February. Type break again. Repeat for every month. If an action is to be performed, but none of the conditions applies, section default must be added. It is an action to be performed by default. In this case, type "The month does not exist." And break. Let's delete the first method. In this case, the program checks this variable, if it's equal to, and then the program checks other conditions. Here the program reaches the first condition, and if it applies, that is, if the variable equals 1, the program prints out this message on the console, gets to the word break, and leaves this operator. Let's run the program and make sure that everything works. If we print out the 5th month, we must see May. Everything is correct. May is printed out. Now let's see what happens if we forget to type the word break. Let's delete this word next to some of the months. Let the number of the month be 1. Run the program, and you can see the messages January, February, March, April, and May. Why is it happening so? Here the program reaches the first condition and checks if the number of the month equals to 1. It is so in this case, so it displays January. Then it misses the word break, so it does not check all other conditions, but simply performs all the following actions. It displays the words February, March, April, May. After this, it encounters the word break and stops performing other actions. Our homework is based on this principle. This time, the user must enter the name of the month. If the name of the month is December, January, or February, the word winter must be printed out. If it's May, April, or March, the word spring is to be displayed, and so on. If the input is incorrect or there is no such month, the message "the season does not exist" is to be printed out. Complete this task first time using if-else and then using switch case. And one more thing. When you compare the strings in the if block, you can use the comparison character just like we did with numbers. Just delete this. Here, we are creating a new string. String first. It doesn't matter what is written here. Next is the second string. String second. Let's assign it the same value. Now we'll compare these strings. Type if first equals second. Do thus and so. So when you compare strings, it's a bad practice to use the comparison character, because in some cases when the strings seem to be identical, the result will still be false. I will not go into details of why it is so, because you do not need it at this time. To tell if two strings are equal, equals method is used. To do so, type a dot next to the line which is needed to be compared. Then type equals, and in the round brackets specify the string for comparison. In this case, we will compare nothing else but the string values. If they're equal, the value will be true. Otherwise, it will be false. To complete your home task, you will have to compare strings. Do this using the equals method and not the comparison character. Good luck, and see you in our next lesson.